Hi guys, thank you for coming back and watching another video. I don't get a lot of views on this channel because it's not a channel that I'm trying to grow for views or money. I just come on here to give information from time to time. Today, I want to tell you that if you are poor and living paycheck to paycheck and your credit is bad, you need to do something. You need to do something, and you need to do it now. Because if you don't, you will continue to be poor, continue to have bad credit, continue and not to be able to do anything. Between 2014 and 2019, I was going through hell. I lived in Dallas, and I was homeless more than I had a place to stay. I lived out of my vehicle at times. I had a small business, actually two. They weren't doing well at all. In 2019, I had lost my vehicle. Well, I hadn't lost it, but the engine went out on it. And I was homeless. I was Christmas Eve of 2019. I spent the night on a bus bench in Irving, Texas, in the cold. The following day, I got up and got on the bus, went to the train station, and I'm riding this train thinking I'm going to stay on here to stay warm. And a demonic train driver came to me and told me to find a destination. He didn't want to see me on that train anymore. And I didn't say that. I just looked at him. And he looked at me. Do I need to call somebody? I said, no, sir. And I had to get off the train. That hurt me. That when you're homeless and you're minding your own business and you're just trying to stay warm, you got demonic people out here who don't give a damn. They don't care. God told me 3 nights in a dream when I was in the hospital for the 3rd time, right after that incident, to move to Las Vegas. 3 nights. And I was in the mental ward, and I thought I was losing my mind. But you know something? I'm a woman of faith. And I finally said, God, if this is you telling me to move to Las Vegas, I don't have any money. I don't know where I'm supposed to stay once I get there. I don't know how I'm supposed to eat. But if this is you, make a way. Make a way. And a way he did. I got a 1-way ticket and I moved here to Las Vegas. Sounds crazy, right? Yeah, it sounds crazy. That was in 2020, right before COVID. This is August 30th of 2025. And I'm okay. Because before I left Dallas, I happened to be at a store. And this woman was looking at me. She was standing in front of me and she kept turning around, just looking at me, making me feel really uncomfortable. She didn't say nothing. She just kept looking at me, just kept turning around. And I'm thinking that she knew me from somewhere and she was trying to figure out where she remembered me from. She checked out, started walking toward the door, and I'm thinking to myself, who good? Because she was making me feel uncomfortable. She gets to the door. She's about ready to go out the door, and she stops. And she turns around and starts looking at me again. Now, I'm checking out now. And I'm looking, what is this woman's problem? I check out. I go to the door to get ready to go out, and she stops me. And this woman told me, she says, I don't know you, but I got a message for you. Woo! God is good. She said, I don't know you, but I got a message for you. And I'm thinking, how can you have a message for me, but you don't know me? Which is what I asked her. I says, okay, you got a message for me, but you don't know me? And she says, yeah. And I says, okay. And she says, I feel real stupid telling you this, but God won't let me go out this door until I tell you what he told me to tell you. And I says, okay. And she said, God told me to tell you what you're about to do. He told you to do. Jesus! I looked at this woman. I said, excuse me? What did you say? And she repeated it. And she looked at me. She says, okay, what are you about to do? And I told her, God came to me 3 nights in a dream and told me to move to Las Vegas. I got a one-way ticket. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I don't know where I'm going to stay. I don't know nobody in Las Vegas, but I'm stepping out on faith and I'm going because he told me to go. And she says, well, this is confirmation. It was confirmation. I moved here to Las Vegas and I'm okay. During COVID, I was in a shelter. I checked my credit files one day because I only had one thing left on my credit file that was open. And that was a charge card with Victoria's Secrets. And I told myself, you probably need to order something on there, just a little something, and pay for it so you don't lose the one account that you do have open. But when I checked my credit profile, that account was closed. And I'm like, oh no, I have nothing open on my account. I had some stuff on there that was in delinquent, a few medical things, and my 2 charge cards with Navy Federal. They were showing delinquent because I couldn't pay. I'm in a shelter. This is COVID. I don't have no job. They told us if we leave out of this shelter for any reason, we're out there on the streets. Don't come back. So I couldn't even go out to look for a job. I was dealing with a medical problem. And I filed for disability in February of 2020. I filed for my pension in May of 2020. I started receiving the pension. No, I think I filed somewhere in April, and I started receiving the pension in May. Wasn't a lot, but at least it was some money. When I filed for disability, I actually started receiving my disability in April of 2021. And I made a decision right then and there that I was not going to have poor credit as a senior citizen, because I realized my income is less than it has been in the past. And if I don't make some decisions to make my credit score better, I'm not going to be able to do anything but receive this disability check and this pension check. And that's under $2,000 a month. When I was working for the federal government, at one point, my paychecks every 2 weeks was $3,500. That was $7,000 a month, guys. When the federal government had me in Herndon, Virginia, with my paychecks and my per diem, that was a little over $5,000. So to go from that to less than $2,000, it don't feel good. I got my notice for renewal on my apartment last year in December 2024. And my rent was increasing $78. We got our cost of living. My cost of living for my disability and my pension maybe for this year's $48. But my rent went up by $78. And I knew it was time for me to do something. I knew it. But let me tell you what I did when I started receiving my disability in 21. I created a budget. I stuck to that budget. That budget afforded me to have a charge card with Open Sky. I made sure I paid that charge card on time each and every month. Paid over the minimum amount if I used a lot. And made sure that I kept that charge card 5% and under most of the time. I got the first one in August of 2021. I got the second one in June of 2023. The second one that I got was a $500 limit, $59 annual fee. The first one was a secured card, and when I moved here to Las Vegas, I put $900 on it because I had to be able to get a truck to move my belongings here. So my credit amount on that was $1,300. I tried to get more increases using my own money now for that secured card, and they kept telling me no. They gave me $100 increase from 21 until 25 when I just got rid of it in June. On the $500 card, they gave me a $50 increase. And I was like, I got to get rid of these cards. I got to. So I got an Apple card this past January. I got another card with a credit union in April. And I got another card in June. When I got those cards, I got rid of both of my Open Sky cards because they were the lowest limits that I had. It may have been May or June, I requested for an increase on my Apple card. They doubled my limit. With both Open Sky cards, my credit on my credit file wasn't even $2,000. It's way, way, way over that now. Now let me tell you why you need good credit. I wasn't trying to get cards so I can just go out here and spend them willy-nilly. That ain't the reason why I wanted to have good credit as a senior citizen. That's not the reason why I got these other cards. The reason why I got these other cards, because I understand the power of credit. This summer, I was able to take 2 trips, and I have another one planned in September. Actually 3 trips, because I went to Atlanta, went to Jacksonville, Florida, and my latest trip 2 weekends ago was to Dallas, Texas. I'm going back to Atlanta next month, well, Athens, Georgia, for another class. I went to these classes because I know I'm not satisfied with a less than $2,000 income, paying 62% of that for my rent payment. I'm not satisfied. So I took my tail to classes. The one in Georgia, it was free. I just had to get there. Balloon class. The one in Jacksonville, I had to pay for. Party favors class. The one in Dallas, another party favors class, but it had AI with it too. And am I glad that I used my credit to go take these classes? You bet I am. You bet I am. Because this is August 30th. Next month, I'm going to be able to upload all the images that I made as digital downloads to sell. I am ordering some of the images that I've created because I got orders already. Some of them I'm ordering because I want to see how they look on a t-shirt. That's advertising for me. To come back on here, whatever channel, and show this is how these look. I'm working on 2 ebooks. One for the credit channel. I'm steady with the young lady who taught the class in Dallas, learning more AI, learning systems and automations, learning how to start my own school group, teaching what I know. I know credit, I know balloons, I know gift baskets, and I know a few other things too. That young lady in 4 years has become a multimillionaire. She has made $19.5 million in 4 years. And she's teaching me and others the very same thing. So yeah, I used my charge cards and went to those classes. I also used creative financing and paid for those classes with Klarna and Affirm. With good credit, you can do that. There are seniors in my building who can't afford to go past their front door. I had to go back so I could say this to put it in this video. So many people don't think for themselves. A lot of seniors in this building are too scared to do anything to make more income. And you want to know why? I rent office. I lease an office. I lease. The folks that are in charge and management around here, they say, we count all income. We count all income. And so these folks are too scared to make any extra money. They think their rent is going to go up more. That is the dumbest thing ever to me. Because whether they make more income or not, their rent is still going up. Mine has. It's not going to stop them. And it's dumb because they don't realize that if they don't start making some type of additional income, in about 3 to 5 years, most of them that live in this building are going to be homeless. And management ain't gonna care, not one bit, to evict them and throw them out on the street. The first time somebody in management told me when I was telling somebody about learning YouTube learning how to do something to create more income. And I was told, we count all income, we count all income. And I said, but if I have more income, I don't have to be here. If I have more income, I have more choices. If you're one of them people who don't know how to think for yourself and you're scared, like folks, when I worked for the state, people that were on welfare, they were too scared to get off. They would go to work at McDonald's or something, and their aid would be taken from them, and they didn't have medical for their kids, and they would quit that job and go back to being on welfare. And I thought to myself, with all of these different programs that they had back then, before 1991, because I worked for the state from 1980 to 1991. And I said, you don't have to go work for McDonald's. You can go to school to learn nursing, data entry, all of those things that were happening back then. And they could have got better jobs with medical for their family. Now look at us. This is 2025. Look at everything that the Trump administration is taking from them. Once you make a budget, you set a goal, you stick to that budget, and you start getting good credit can afford you to do exactly what I did. Go learn to earn. So let me ask you, are you going to make any changes? Or are you going to continue to live paycheck to paycheck with bad credit and be broke? That decision is up to you. Now check out some of the things that I have created since I've been back from class. I'm going to pop on here from time to time to let you know how my income is coming. Because my income, to me, in my head with God, is about ready to explode. Thank you, guys. Be blessed.